Hey guys, and welcome back. If you watch my channel, you know that I put out videos every day to help you navigate this crazy journey from autism. We talk about all sorts of things, and often I bring other professionals on so we can cover every single topic for you could possibly think about. So today I have on a very special guest. Her brother has autism, and she specializes in really helping siblings and helping parents understand how to support siblings. Because we know that it's not a child that gets a diagnosis of autism, it's an entire family that gets a diagnosis of autism. So she's going to really talk today about if you're at home, your siblings are home, your child with autism's home, everyone's quarantined together, how to help siblings to really deal with the stress of being home with not only away from school, away from their friends, but with their autistic siblings and stuck in one place. So Jessica Leving, thanks so much for coming on here today and sharing with us.
Hi, yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on the show. I love what you're doing and I'm really glad to be a part of it. My name is Jessica Leving and I am the director of the Center for Siblings of People with Disabilities. And so we have been talking a lot lately about how quarantine is affecting siblings and families. And so I also run a podcast called the Special Siblings Podcast as part of our nonprofit. And we just recently had a psychologist come on the show and talk about exactly this issue and how you can help siblings at home. And obviously, you know, the situation is different. And I know for some families, we've actually heard that quarantine has been wonderful, you know, that maybe their child with autism is really triggered by being outside, being, you know, a lot of the meltdowns happen at the grocery store or at the mall. And so being at home, you're away from a lot of those bright lights and stimulus, and it's actually easier. So, you know, it really obviously depends on your situation. But we have also heard, of course, from a lot of families where it's very stressful. Maybe you're without your support workers, you're not being able to get therapy. And, you know, it really is, like you said, it's a family issue. It's not just the person, like the child with autism that's there suffering or having a challenging day. But it can really take a toll on siblings. And a lot of times when we talk to parents, they either are feeling really stressed out and are not able to, they feel like they can't be there for the sibling as well. And sometimes parents will say, like, you know, I know that my other kids are having a tough time, but I don't have the time to help them. I'm exhausted, especially right now. I'm homeschooling. I'm trying to be a therapist and a teacher and do my own job and whatever. And what we really talked about on the show is that it doesn't have to be so difficult. It doesn't have to be time consuming to be there for your other kids. And a lot of it is really the kind of the quality and not the quantity of time that you're spending with those other children. And it really is what you say that matters. So the main thing that comes up time and again when we talk about anxiety in siblings, regardless of coronavirus, regardless of age, we do know that siblings of people with disabilities have higher rates of anxiety and depression when they are adults. If they don't get the resources that are needed as kids. And a lot of what comes up is that there's a lack of validation. So you might say, you know, oh, my brother is, you know, stimming in the other room. It's really bothering me. I can't do my homework. And a parent might say something like, well, you know, you shouldn't be upset about it. That's just how he is. Or you need to accept your brother. You know, they might not, it's a difficult thing to hear if you say, like, my brother's behavior is bothering me, or I'm embarrassed of my sister because she's in the background of my Zoom call, and, you know, whatever. And as a parent, we want all of our kids to be accepting of each other, but it actually can do a huge amount. It can just be really, really helpful to just acknowledge, like, yeah, I know that's got to be really frustrating. I'm sorry. And you don't have to change it. You know, if people get overwhelmed thinking like, well, God, what am I going to do? I, you know, don't have the workspace to be able to have them in different places, or, you know, whatever the case may be. A lot of the work that really makes the biggest difference with kids is on just recognizing and validating their feelings. And we can accept the situation, but we don't have to pretend that it's not happening. And that's really when the biggest damage is done. If you try to tell a kid, you know, don't be bothered by that, just ignore it, or, you know, I don't have time to deal with you complaining about this. I'm already so stressed right now. Like, those are the things that are really easy to just pop out when we're stressed, but can do a lot of damage in the long term. So if you can just say, you know, something like, yep, I know that's got to be really frustrating, or we're all under a lot of stress. And you can even be honest and say, As a parent, I'm having a tough time too. This is a difficult situation, but we're going to get through it, and this is a time to model as a parent. How do you deal with tough situations? What do you do when you're feeling stressed? Can you encourage them to write or color, go play outside if you can, listen to their favorite music? This is really about teaching coping skills and not trying to ignore the issues or sweep them under the rug. So yeah, that was a lot of talking, but
that's amazing advice. And it's interesting because I have a lot of mothers that watch this show, and I recently put out a father's course for autism. I'm trying to get fathers more involved, but mostly it's actually women who watch this channel. Actually, sometimes when I look at the analytics, and sometimes it's even 100% women. And so I'm going to speak to the women on this call today. And I love what Jessica's saying, because when you really think about it, as women, we do this all the time. Like oftentimes you're talking to your spouse, your husband, your boyfriend, and we just want to hear them say, I'm sorry. Right? And we'll repeat ourselves over and over and over, and we'll get really, really frustrated that they're not acknowledging how we feel. And oftentimes they'll try to fix a situation, and we don't even want them to fix it. Maybe it's not even repairable. We just want them to say, like, sorry, I understand how you're feeling. I hear what you're saying. And it can be really frustrating when they don't acknowledge, when men don't acknowledge us. And I think women can really relate to how that feels, because I think we've all been in that situation. And I think knowing that kids are the same way. So the same way we want our feelings validated, kids require their feelings to be validated as well. So is there any way you can give some practical strategies for parents incorporating siblings into working with kids with autism to really help in a positive and constructive way? One of the things I think that's been best that's come out of this whole experience of coronavirus is really just bonding, people having a deeper level of relationship with their families. This is an opportunity for parents to really now have their children bond. And I think that families are either going to be stronger or weaker as a result of this. And I want to see more families come out in this strong. So what can parents do to help really incorporate their siblings in a positive way without making them feel overly burdened, or that there's an expectation that is being put upon them that they may not want to or be able to fill?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, it really depends on the family situation. And I know for a lot of families right now, especially if all the parents in the home are working and trying to homeschool at the same time, it can be really hard to not put some of that burden on the sibling to say, well, I need you to watch your sibling while I'm on a call, or, you need to go take your brother in the other room or whatever. And, it just is what it is. I think as much as possible, when we can avoid doing that, that's great, because we don't want siblings to feel like it's their job to kind of take on that parental responsibility. But sometimes, situations are what they are. And if that's what you have to do, you have to do it. But again, if you can acknowledge, say thank you, make sure if it's tough that we acknowledge, I know that this is a lot to ask of you, but I really appreciate it. And then see if afterwards, maybe later in the day, can you and your other child have some quality time where you're reading books or playing a game or watching their favorite movie, just you guys, while maybe the child with autism is in another room with another parent or sibling. Or maybe if the child, if the sibling wants to do something on their own, maybe the best thing to do is actually, can you entertain the child with autism and make a quiet, sacred space where they can go read a book uninterrupted? And maybe you're giving them 5 more minutes of screen time as a reward for, being so helpful, where they get to have some time that's just them. And then also, we do have a lot on our website. We're always trying to encourage families to have these discussions openly. We have a book, we have a podcast, we just posted some activity sheets as well. A couple weeks ago, we did a Zoom reading of our children's book, and it was really fun. And you can kind of draw along. And what's nice is, you can do those at home with your kids, and they can, draw a picture of their sibling, and we have them go through kind of a series of what is a really fun thing that you like to do with your sibling, what's something that's really stressful that your sibling does, well, what's, something that's rewarding about having them in your life, and kind of be able to go through and hit different points and just verbalize those emotions and have an honest conversation. So yeah, I think those 2 things, or I guess it was more than 2 really, but making special time with them, giving them their own time, and just encouraging transparency and not making them feel like they have to hide from you how they're feeling if they are feeling something that might be tougher to talk about.
And that's amazing advice. Now, where can parents find those resources? Because they sound really, really valuable and credible. So I know you have your book, Billie's Sister. and your podcast. So where can they get both of those things? Sorry.
Yeah, so everything is available at siblingcenter.org. So again, we're the Center for Siblings of People with Disabilities, and our website is siblingcenter.org. And we also have a Facebook page, and you can find all of the latest updates there. And our podcasts, all of the, every link to every aspect of what we do is on the website, but you can also search for our podcast. It's called the Special Siblings Podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to podcasts, you should be able to find it. But yeah, our one-stop shop is siblingcenter.org, so check that out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for coming on and sharing your resources with us. I know parents are going to be incredibly blessed by it, and I was taking notes, and I definitely learned from you as well. So if you're a parent, you're watching these videos, subscribe to this channel. We're going to put out videos just like this every day. And if you have a question, head over to my website, hopeeducationservices.com. We will get your question answered. And all the links for both my links and Jessica's links will also be in the comments below. So thanks again.